welcome to AxeGov News, where we chop down corruption to help save America. For many years, our country has allowed itself to become divided on the issue of gay marriage. On one hand, there are religious believers, mostly from Christian faiths, who believe gay marriage should be illegal. On the other hand, there is the gay community, who believe that government should legalize gay marriage. Thus, the issue comes down to the question of, what should the government do about gay marriage? To answer this question, we have to travel back in time to the year 1563. While there is evidence in the Bible that marriage existed as far back as the dawn of mankind with the creation of Adam and Eve, practically speaking, the Catholic Church first laid down the foundation for modern marriage in Western civilization in 1563 by officially making marriage a religious sacrament. Although it took centuries for marriage to evolve into what it is today, this decree by the Catholic Church established the foundation for modern marriage with expectations that husbands and wives be faithful to each other, that this bond be based on love, and that husbands should treat their wives better than in the past. Now let us move forward in time to December 15th, 1791. Anyone care to guess the significance of that date? Anyone? Well, if you said, that's the day the Bill of Rights was ratified, congratulations, you're correct. I present to you the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which reads in part, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Most certainly, marriage is an establishment of religion. Thus it turns out that both sides of this dispute are incorrect. Simply put, government has absolutely no authority whatsoever to legalize nor to illegalize gay, straight, or any other type of marriage. The authority to regulate marriage rests solely with the religious authorities, and that's as it should be. So, if you have something to say about marriage, take it up with them, not the U.S. government. Wow. Isn't it amazing that this simple answer to the problem has existed for over 222 years, and yet nobody in Congress, the courts, the media, or America's law firms have ever noticed? Why, if I didn't know any better, I would think this obvious answer to the marriage debate was being conveniently ignored for some reason. And you know what, America? You bet your arse this truth has been ignored intentionally. There is far more at stake here than simply permitting or denying gay marriages, folks. The truth is, the thought of government losing its iron grip on the marriage industry scares the living crap out of the powers that be. Just for starters, this means local governments could no longer force people to waste money on marriage licenses and taking STD tests before getting married. That also means that the people making the STD tests and the doctors giving them lose money too. Any legal contracts whatsoever that are based on marital status would no longer be enforceable. It means that people could also no longer be forced to cater to or make cakes or provide any services for weddings they disagree with. Best of all, getting rid of government's tyranny over marriage would be the equivalent of dropping a nuclear bomb on every U.S. divorce lawyer in existence, because since government cannot legally regulate marriage, they cannot legally regulate divorce either, because divorce is the ending of the religiously established right of marriage. So for all you scumbag divorce lawyers out there who are taking advantage of people in a time of need and profiting from their misery, that means no more alimony and the end of your career. And thank goodness for that. Heck, I really don't understand why in the hell alimony was ever legally permitted to exist. I mean, we're talking about taking away a chunk of someone's livelihood and possessions for absolutely no reason at all, other than their choice to participate in and then cease participation in the religious rite of marriage. which is an egregious violation of one's First Amendment religious freedoms. It's also a gross violation of the Eighth Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishments, since punishing a person for doing absolutely nothing wrong is both cruel and unusual indeed. Oh, on top of all that, alimony, which generally forces someone to work to support their former spouse, violates the 13th Amendment's ban on involuntary servitude. In short, this has got to be one of the most blatantly unconstitutional legal practices in America, and yet it continues, unchallenged. Divorce lawyers are certainly one reason it's still around, but another reason is because state governments like marriages, especially when welfare people get married. This means the state doesn't have to pay for them anymore, since now they have a spouse to do it instead. But what state governments don't like seeing is these marriages ending, because then those people might end up on welfare again. Rather than deal with that, it's easier for the state to force spouses to act as one-person welfare agencies and do the state's job for them. If a couple wishes to divorce, some states will force them to stay married against their wishes for a period of time. This forces one spouse to support the other one that much longer, and in the state's warped mind, provides hope that they will stay together, even in cases involving infidelity and violence. Even when the divorce happens, the state illegally forces one spouse to pay alimony to the other, essentially turning these people into mini welfare providers for the state, sometimes for the rest of their entire lives. When a state forces religious people to remain in a marital bond against their will, that means you're forcing them to put their love lives on hold, denying them the chance to date anyone else since they are still technically married, and that would be a sin to them. That's not only a violation of their First Amendment rights, but a form of outright slavery as well. What the hell, Congress? Forced marriage? Are we living in the Middle Ages or something? Congress, stop allowing states to violate people's rights and end this bullcrap. Now! By now, it should be abundantly clear that government's reign over marriage is an absolutely illegal and detrimental violation of everyone's religious and other freedoms. Therefore, I would like to issue a challenge to both the LGBT community and the religious groups out there. Instead of fighting each other and being used to create a distraction to cover the misdeeds of Congress and the divorce lawyers, I challenge both sides to overcome their disdain for each other and unite to destroy this injustice. I urge you both to realize what's at stake. For the LGBT side, there's the right to be married, provided your religion permits it. For the religious people, winning this fight would give you added legal strength when fighting the other instances of government tyranny over your faith, such as Obamacare, or being forced to provide other services that are against your religious beliefs, like providing services for gay weddings. In short, both sides get the freedom to do, or not to do, what is in line with their own beliefs, without the government forcing them to do otherwise. So please, bury the hatchet for the good of all, work together, and have this unconstitutional bullcrap struck down by the courts. Thank you, America, for watching AxeGov. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I invite you to tune in next time, when we'll be chopping our way through even more government corruption. Until then, have a great day, and farewell.